(941) Performance.
All right, welcome to 941 Performance. We have our first car in, Chrysler 200. We're doing an oil change, so oil cap always on the hood latch. Pull dipstick up, it's just something I do. And then he's got a check engine light for an oil pressure switch and an airbag light. We're also going to check the front brakes because we hear some squeaking. He mentioned it, I mentioned it, so we're going to pull the front wheels and look at the front brakes. So I got it up on jack stands. I got my oil drain pan under there. So we have two codes for the oil pressure switch. I just pulled the plug and there's oil inside the plug. So we're going to have to clean that out. Let me see if I can get in here so you can see it. Right in there, there's oil right inside that plug. So we're going to clean that out. We're going to replace this oil pressure sensor, which I already have. We're going to go Valvoline full synthetic 020, 6 quarts. Actually takes 5.8. Now, we got the oil pressure sensor already, which is this guy right here. Goes on the back of the block, and it's leaking through here, oil. Now with these, as you can see, they're not like a perfect socket. You actually need a special oil pressure sensor socket. This one is made by Snap-on, and it is a 1 1/16. See if I get that to focus. Try to get you the part number. There you go. Might be able to cross-reference that or search in for an oil pressure sensor socket. But as you can see, it's not a perfect socket. Let's grab another socket just for reference. Use my big spark plug socket that I found. So as you can see, you got your normal shape, and then you got that weird one. So that's a must-have if you're doing oil pressure sensors. AutoZone may have it, but let's get under here. Start the oil draining, pull the filter. I have a Mopar oil filter, MO339. For this, what size is that drain? And then we'll just get the oil draining. That's gonna be like a 13 oil filter right here. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Clean it all up when we're done with a little bit of brake cleaner. I did remove the belly pan so I could get to that sensor. I will also show you what two codes we had, and 9 times out of 10 it's going to be a bad sensor, but you still want to test. You want to make sure everything is good in that circuit before you go throwing parts at it, because some circuits may say it has a bad sensor, but it's actually something else, and it's not really that sensor at all. So you want to make sure you do your component testing. But my component testing was 2 codes and oil on the plug. So that was my component testing, and that led me to believe that I was right on the oil pressure sensor, because I prematurely ordered it. So let's get some oil draining down here. That wasn't really all that tight, which is fine. Torqued properly. We're probably gonna make a mess. Beautiful. It smells like oil. Just going right in that drain pan. Beautiful. We'll clean this up a little bit. And then we'll get the oil filter pliers and drain the filter. Ugh. And I don't have any rags in here, so we're gonna have to use shop towel, which are good enough, right? These guys. Bear with me. I'm a one-man band holding the camera, doing everything. Once I get, you know, more cars and more money coming in, I might hire a cameraman. So there's two reasons why I put this here. Number one, so I know what I'm doing, and number two is so when I go to close the hood, I know that there's no oil in the engine. Pull the dipstick out, it'll hit the hood. Going down, it'll make some noise. So yeah, let's get this oil changed. Make sure I'm not making a mess down there. Oil filter pliers. Don't judge me on my toolbox, please. I don't have enough room for everything. I got too many tools and not enough big enough toolbox. Leave me alone. Ugh. So, one of the things you gotta look for when doing an oil filter is the seal of the oil filter. Let's see, we got enough room? Yeah, we got enough room. I think. We'll find out if I make a mess or not. So what we're gonna do, we'll actually slide this carpet under here. Just like that. Let's see if it's hand tight. Oh. Nope, that's too tight. Oil filter pliers. That's a little tight. Shouldn't be that tight, but it's tight. They do make cups for these too. That's that 5-minute oil change place. Oh yeah, we gotta wrench it down. No, you just need it hand tight. There we go. Let that drain out in there. Let's go get our can of brake cleaner, which is right here on the shelf. Running low on this, I need some more. But see if I can hold this. Let's see. Just clean up the drain bolt a little bit. Inspect it, make sure it's not, no threads are messed up. We're looking pretty good. The head's not worn out, so we're good there. The seal looks okay. Certain cars you do have to replace the seal on the drain plug, but this one's okay. You can replace the drain plug every time. I will be getting a drain plug for the Volkswagen, but yeah, the threads look okay. Nothing out of the ordinary there, so we'll go ahead and slap that back in. And you know, it's, if it goes all the way in my fingers, you're golden. Absolutely zero reason to fuck with it. So we'll get a wrench, which is over here somewhere. Make sure you make sure you turn it on. Make sure it's going in the right direction. Which I wasn't. And that's it. That's all you need. Just a little blip there. Try not to squirt yourself in the face with the brake cleaner. Brake cleaner works wonder. It evaporates, so you're good there. Now let's drop this oil filter. And it looks like the seal's coming off with the filter. Yep, seal's on the filter. This guy right here. So there's that. She looks pretty good up there. Now, some of these filters, when they come in the box, have plastic over them. This one does not, so we're good there. We're gonna take a little oil and oil the O-ring, the seal, and then we're gonna spin her back up on there. Make sure it catches and make sure it spins freely. You can hear it spinning around. That's all you need. Alright, let's get under here and do this oil pressure sensor. So I do apologize, as I am a one-man band and I don't have a lift, so you can't really see what's going on here. I lost my flashlight. Yeah, you can't see shit. Hang on. Let me get my flashlight. Let's clean that up a little bit. Okay. So, you'll be able to see where my ratchet is. See, right there. That's where the oil pressure switch is, and that is what looks like an H2O pump. So, here, I'll pull the ratchet out just so we can see. There she is right there. Oil pressure switch. So also on these connectors here, they got this little red lock tab that you gotta pull out before you disconnect them, and then once you connect it, you're gonna push this in. So this is gonna go down like boop. So let's get that oil pressure switch out. Bear with me for a second. Might lose a little bit of oil, but that's all right. Oh yeah, we lost some oil. Yeah. We got a puddle of oil on the floor, damn it. But yeah. There she is. Old and crusty. And there should not be oil in those plugs. I'll show you when after I get the new one in. So yeah, let's see. There it goes, right there. There's the hole. So let's get the new one in there. And then I know I suck at this, I'm sorry. That light is way too fucking bright. There we go. Let me get this oil cleaned up so I don't get all my mess. Be right back. Alright, so oil pressure sensor's done. Oil is in the engine. I just got to check the dipstick. So I got the front wheels off. We are going to need front brake pads because they are real thin. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. Trying to get a good angle. But the squealer is actually touching the rotor. And that's what's squeaking. Yeah, there's something touching the rotor right there. So what we got to do now is we got to measure the rotors. Make sure they're within the thickness so we can quote pads, because there's no vibration no vibration while braking. So we have the 305 millimeter brake pads. Now we go here, max brake rotor thickness new is 28 millimeters. We go over here, 26 is the minimum thickness. So if they're above 26 millimeters, then we do not have to replace them. So we got my digital caliper here. We're going to try to get a good measurement. 27.85. Now, what you want to do is you want to rotate it and get it in another spot. .3. Rotate it again. .7. I'm gonna go with a screwed up caliper. But he doesn't feel anything. Yeah, 27.8. Yeah, we're good on the rotors. We don't need to replace the front rotors. But we're gonna check both sides. Look at the pads. The pads are pretty thin. About a little less than 2 millimeters. Which we can always... I can take the caliper off and measure the pads, but they need to be replaced. Yeah, 27.8. I'm gonna say these rotors are okay. .8. They're within spec. So he had them, must have had them replaced recently because his car has 160 something thousand miles on it. They don't look, they're not like heat or anything. They're just, I think we'll be okay to at least slap pads on the front. I will have to jack it up and check the rears because the rears did look a little low. But let us, sorry for the fan too. It's getting a little hot. I live in Florida. Get our scan tool out because we're gonna clear the oil pressure codes, and if it has an oil light reset, we're gonna do that as well. Some of them you can do through the car itself. Some of them need a scan tool. I know Mercedes is big on scan tool bull crap. So I need the key because this key does not read properly. It got wet. All right, accessory, good there. So the other thing we got to check with this car as well is the idle. It fluctuates at an idle, but it could be related to oil pressure. So a lot of these things in these newer cars run off of oil pressure, especially this. I'm gonna try to relearn the throttle body, reset it to 0, and maybe give it a cleaning if it needs it. We'll pull the cover off, pull the hose off, clean it out a little bit, relearn it, and see what that does. But 9 times out of 10 with these Chryslers, it's may need a throttle body. But again, we had an oil pressure issue, so it could be that. So we're gonna have to run some more diagnostic on it. I'm not gonna jump in and say, hey, you need to buy a throttle body. No, we don't work like that around here. We're actually gonna diagnose it and fix it properly. So let's see what our codes are. Diagnostic. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna go system select. We're gonna go PCM, powertrain control module, which is engine, transmission, powertrain. We're gonna read fault codes, DTC, oil pressure sensor switch A low, engine oil pressure sensor circuit. That's probably due to the fact that it had oil in the connector. So we're going to go back one, we're going to go back again, and we are going to clear the fault codes. Yes. Okay. Now the other one that we got to contend to is SRS, which is the airbag system, supplemental inflatable restraint system. We're going to read the fault codes, DTC information. Alright, so we got right side seat deployment squib 1 circuit open, left side, so you got right side, left side, seat deployment squib 1 circuit open. These are the connections underneath the seat for the actual seat airbags. That seats have airbags in them. So you have your side curtains and then you have your seat airbags. So, and then you have your front airbags. I mean, these cars are getting more and more advanced. So what we got to do is I'm actually going to put the wheels back on, take it off the jack stands, and then roll it out so I can open the doors. and then we'll hop in there and get her done. And then what I'll do is I'll pop a rear wheel off and then pop the other side rear wheel off and check those brakes as well. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do there. So what I'll do is I'm just gonna turn this off for right now until I get all that set up, and I'll show you what we'll do to quick diagnose that, because there is a service bulletin for them to put a sub harness in the seat. So I'll be back shortly. All right, we're gonna go supplemental inflatable restraint system. We're going to clear the fault codes because we already know what they are. But DTC is still present, please check. So we're gonna go, yeah, that's gonna, so what I can do is they have Maximus fix, unable to connect. Oh, I gotta connect to the Wi-Fi. But a lot of times it's this connector that's an issue right there, that yellow one with the 2 wires on it. This one right here. So I'm still gonna pull that apart with the ignition off and look inside, make sure there's no water, corrosion, or anything in there. And then worst case, it's gonna need a sub harness inside the back of the seat. So we'll have to get a price on that. And look at those seat bolts. That is not a normal seat bolt. That's like a 1/4-inch drive Torx bit type of thing. Oh well. So let me turn the ignition off. That's a hard code. We're gonna unplug it and we'll see what we can do here. All right, now, how does this connector work? Like this. Okay, so we can actually put that back up there. Got 2 little pins. 2 little pins. Where's my light? And they actually look okay. So with that being said, there's not much I can do about that. It's gonna, unless it's already had a sub harness in here, which I don't know. So we can check the one in the front just for shits and giggles, but I'm pretty sure it's this one. Oh, well, actually, what we can do, figure out which side's the seat harness and which side's the car harness, but I think I already know. We don't want to set off an airbag. Alright, I'm gonna take a peek here. This goes into this, which goes into this, which goes into this. I can't even make out heads or fucking tails of this shit. Well, let's see. Oh, this one goes up into the seat. Okay, so that was right. All right, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna take this screwdriver, kind of touch those two terminals together like that, and then hope like how I don't blow an airbag. We're in run. Let's see. This will tell us if the squib side open. Okay. Read code DTC. They're not touching. All right, this one we'll go to Mitchell and see. But let me connect this thing to Wi-Fi. I have Wi-Fi in my garage for the time being, and I'll let you know what I find. Okay, so I did a couple things, and we have no more airbag light, just seatbelt, because obviously door open. And then if you go here, you can see oil life reset. Got my oil sticker right there. So all I really did with those two connectors on each side is I just unplugged them, plugged them back in, unplugged them, plugged them back in, made sure they were squeezed all the way together, and then I was able to clear it, and the left side went away. Did it a couple more times on the right side went away. So there is a service bulletin for these codes by Chrysler for adding a sub harness. So I guess that's a different test that I didn't get the procedure for, but I do have a contact at Chrysler, and I do have Mitchell. So I mean, I have the information available to me, but with what I know, I did. And now the way you check those two wires to make sure the seat, the harness to the airbag control module and that plug is good, is you just basically short those pins out together. And then what it'll do is you turn the ignition on, scan your codes, and it should say connector shorted together. And then you know right off the rip that your connect your wires from the seat to the module are good, and you don't have a problem that way. So then you can just focus on that connector to the airbag, and that's where you would go. So I kind of skipped a step, but I was able to clear it. I don't like messing with airbags. Many years ago, somebody that worked with my dad had an airbag blow up in their face and shot him halfway across the shop. Mind you, this dude was like 400 pounds working on a car. So that manufacturer got sued, and oh yeah, it was a big mess. So ever since then, I hate doing airbags. I've done airbag recalls at the dealerships. I know what I need to do. I just hate doing it. So, but we have no airbag light. I'm going to pull the rear wheels, check those brakes out, call the customer with an estimate, and go from there and see if he wants to do brakes today, or if he wants to do them tomorrow, or in the next couple days, because that's about all the time that I would recommend that he has. So I'll pull up a video, I'll add it in if I do rear brakes, but as of right now, this car is done for what it came for. We did the oil pressure switch, cleared to check engine light. I will take this for a drive real quick just to make sure. We fixed the airbag light, and we did an oil change. So this car is complete for the work requested, but I am going minus the brakes. The idle actually seems okay too, so that could have been due to oil pressure, but I want to drive it, get it up to temperature, check it, and then if I have to, I'll clean the throttle body or relearn the throttle body, because I didn't do any of that yet. I just wanted to see, because a lot of times oil pressure affects everything. So with a fresh oil change, proper level, should be good. So let's go with that. Now the other thing that could cause an idle, that just dropped down, is a low AC. A low AC system could cause what you think an idle hunt, because the compressor is low on Freon, so it's cycling on and off, on and off, on and off, and it's putting additional load, taking a load off, putting additional load, taking a load off on that engine. So that's another thing to check. But I don't feel, I got the air conditioner on now because I'm just sitting here, I'm like, why am I getting so hot? Because I'm in Florida and I don't have the air on. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna go take this for a test drive. I'm gonna check the rear brakes. I'm gonna call the customer with the estimate, and we'll go from there. So I may or may not see you later. Thank you.